You know, when you listen to Look at Me by XxXTentacion and you listen to KMT, song of course on Drake's recent record, More Life, you can clearly see the similarities. You can see that the flow and the delivery, they're very much alike. We're familiar with the idea of no, ideas are original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. Everything that we do, we sort of, it's sort of a variation of our influences, but I think we tend to have this view of ideas that they come out of nowhere. And ideas don't come out of nowhere because every artist that you like is a product of their influences. The problem that we're experiencing here, it's that there's a very big difference when you're the larger artist and you are drawing influences from artists who are coexisting. And it's even worse when they're smaller than you. I mean, if Drake sounded like Jay-Z, if he sounded like somebody popular, if he went on sort of a Kanye kick, nobody would have a problem with that because resources aren't the issue there. You know, this is a problem with resources. Drake has a lot of them. He has ghostwriters. He has people in OVO Music who he's been accused of stealing their styles, stealing their flows. And he's got enough of those resources. So why would you take a flow from such an obscure artist who just has a following on SoundCloud? Is building up a buzz every day, but in comparison is little compared to you. The idea of stealing like an artist is based on that. It's based on the idea that influences should be worn on one sleeve. Now, the general public isn't going to believe in this, and especially not the hip hop community, because we're all about any similarities between any artist. It's a problem. It's an issue. But it's mostly always an issue when it's the larger artist stealing from the smaller artist. When Designer came into the scene and Panda was everywhere, everyone noticed, of course, that he sounds a lot like Future, but we didn't have as much of a problem with it because Designer's never going to take anything away from Future. Future is a successful artist. He's established. He's a brand. There's no way that Designer's momentum is going to wipe Future out of the map. But there is the idea of Drake taking X's style and then X never becoming anything. So once again, it has to do with resources, I think, more than the idea of intellectual properties and you stole that from this person, because it all depends on who is stealing from who. If we want to look at it from a historical sense, we can listen to Jay-Z, for example. Jay-Z wore his influences right on his sleeve to the point where he always got called out on it. Cameron called him out on it, Nas called him out on it, and Jay-Z addressed it. When I say a Biggs verse, I'm only bigging up my brother. I'm bigging up my borough. I'm big enough to do it. I'm that thorough. Plus, I know my own flow is foolish. So Jay-Z wasn't afraid to wear those influences, but there's a difference here because that is somebody who passed, and that is more of an homage. I think that Drake mentioned in that interview that it's sort of an homage, and people don't perceive it as an homage when it's a contemporary. It's, no, you're not praising that person. What you're doing is stealing from that person. I haven't heard much from Tentacion. Obviously, he doesn't have a project out. I think something is slated to drop soon, but I'm imagining that there'll be a lot of subliminals in that record. And he's going to go with what's going to get him popular right now, which is sort of being that villain to Drake, depending on how you want to see it. If you're a Drake stan, you're going to think this little peon, why would Drake ever have to steal anything from him? He's Drake, he's, you know, all that shit. And then you have the very cult following, the very specific thing that X has going on online here, and that person could pretty much say the same thing from a different perspective. What do you guys think on the matter? When you line these two tracks up to one another, is he stealing or is he stealing like an artist? Please let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.